Page 8, Water Carnival. This is kind of a fun little piece. They had talked a little bit about the composer up there. Okay, I want to talk about this piece. So I'm going to go through my routine to learn a piece. First, I look it over. I see it's total about 2 pages long, but it has a DS all fine, so it's going to be longer than that. However, there's only 2 pages of music I need to deal with as far as learning goes. Well, that's really what I'm after. Treble and bass clef at the beginning. 1 sharp in the key signature. It's either in the key of G major or E minor, because those are the keys with 1 sharp. When I do the scales and arpeggios, I do them both. The G major and E minor stuff both. As far as this piece goes, it ends, if you look at the fine, it's here. It's a G chord, I'm guessing it's in G major. A piece can change key signatures in the middle, because you'll see on page 9, the last measure of the 3rd line, you go to 3 flats. Here, we're in E flat major. There. So it wouldn't hurt to do the E flat major scale. And if you're going to do the E flat major scale, go ahead and do the C minor scale, because it also has 3 flats. Generally, I don't. I just stick with the one there, because I'll get to these other scales eventually, I'm sure. It's personal. You decide. I want to take it 1 hand at a time, make sure I got fingering and everything worked out. So the right hand has triplets. 1 enda, 2 enda. Triplet, triplet. You don't have to do a 4. You can do a 5 if you'd like. Either of those fingerings is fine. It's a personal thing. And then do it again. The 3rd line here. 1. So that's tied. 1 and 2 and 3 and there's other fingerings we can use in here besides the fingering in the book, and I tend to use different ones anyway. The fingering is fine. I would suggest maybe in the last line on page 8, the 2nd measure up here, I tend to do a 3-2, just so I don't have to do a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 all the time. I do. To me, that's just easier. I can stay more relaxed. So I did it. Now on page 9 in the 2nd line, or 3rd line, excuse me, again, you're up here. This is a little different than what we had at the bottom of page 8. So here I'm going to recommend that you use 4 on the F sharp. The chord is really kind of this, and that's the fingering I'm going to use for it. So I'm going to use the 4, 3 here. So again, it's 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3. So 3, 2. However, the fingering in the book is fine if you'd prefer that. Now going on with 3 flats, it's 2. Make sure these 16th notes are short. These are not triplets. Don't go. When it rocks like that, body, that's triplets. It's got to be crisp. They got to be short. Make them short. Left hand, well, let's see. You're up here. Triplets. I do a 2-4 there. You can do a 3-5 if you want. It's just 1, 2, 3, 1. Just connect them as best you can. I mean, when you're doing these road chords, you don't have to cover all the notes at the same time. You can move the hand back and forth. So I'm not covering the B yet. Now I'm going to come up, and I'm not covering the G anymore. Same thing here. I'm letting the hand go up. A 3rd line down, if you want, you can use thumb on both of those. Or this, if you'd rather. I'll leave that up to you. I don't know how big your hands are. page 9, third line, last measure, the key change here. 1 E ended, 2 E ended, 1 E. Make sure these are short. Don't go, because we've been doing triplets. These got to be short. Then I put the hands together, and really I'm going to hesitate all over. I don't care. I'm just trying to get the hands to work together. So it's here at the beginning, and then here, and then here, and then here, and then here. And then I do that again. And here. Here, that should be a 3 here. And you can't connect this very well. If you want to do 5 on these like they're showing, that's fine. And you do it some more. Now on page 9, third line down, last measure, the key change again. Just keep it crisp on the short notes. And once I sort of have that under control, and I've gone through it a few hundred times and taken out the hesitation, so it's a steady beat, then I can keep it slow. The speed isn't important right now, but it's got to be a steady beat. Then I add the articulation and the grace notes and things. I'm going to connect it. And the grace note, people play this differently. They interpret it differently. I can't tell you one way's right or wrong, although a lot of teachers would. It's just different ways of interpreting. I play them like a concertours, and I play the grace note on the beat, so I'm going to play it with a C here. A lot of people would play it before the beat here. And this is why fourth finger works better than fifth, because it's a little easier with a grace note. But I play it on the beat, so it's anyway, it's kind of smooth here through. Now when you get over to the key change on page 9, you're here. This left hand, I'm connecting this left hand all the way through. Keep in mind these are slurs. And remember the difference, one of the differences between a slur and a phrase is a slur, you don't always lift up before and after a slur, but you do connect the notes within the slur. So, but I don't have to lift up before and after. I can slur it all together. A phrase, you typically will lift up before and after a phrase, but you don't necessarily connect everything within the phrase. You can have staccatos and stuff going on within a phrase. That's sort of the difference. These, to me, these are slurs, so I could connect these. And maybe now lift up. The grace note, however you interpret it, that's fine. Do whatever your teacher's telling you to do. That's how I do them. Then the dynamics. It's going to apply to the right hand. That's the melody here. Moderately loud, you're going to go up to loud and back down. Moderately. Here. That's loud. So it's like each beat just got a little bit louder. Here, louder, louder, louder. And then you come back down, and then again. Now, third line, you started soft, you got a crescendo. Again, this is interpretation. They don't tell you how loud to get. They do give you a diminuendo in the next line, the last measure. So I don't know where you get your loudest point. I assume you're going to get it, yet follow the music. You're here on soft, louder, and a little louder. I guess the top part of that is the loudest part. And then you come back down, so it's, and that last measure of page 8, you're still out here. The diminuendo is when you start getting softer. So you're still out here, and you're going to slow down a little bit, and you're going to go back down to moderately loud at the top of page 9. Actually, you can come down to about a moderately soft if you want. So, and then loud, moderately loud, like you were at the beginning. And you follow their stuff in there. Then in the third line on page 9, you had that crescendo like we did on page 8 where you're going up. So you're kind of loud here. And you're starting the second measure loud. And now you're going to soft and get... Come down to about a moderately loud to moderately soft in there. And then the key change, now you're loud. Next line, last measure, you're going to echo that soft. Last line, now you're very soft. And then you have a fermato over the rest, means quiet. And take your time about being quiet. Whatever you think is right. And then you're soft. Soft. And then the DS sends you back to the sign, which is at the top of page 9. So you just lift up and come down. You come back up there. The fine is in the third line there at the key change. In my opinion, that should be a thin and thick bar line there, not two thin bar lines, because that's where the piece ends. And a thin and thick bar line is the symbol for the end of a piece. So just widen out that second bar line and make it a thick one, and we're good to go. Speed, gracious. Not just Andante, some people say that's slow. I disagree. It's just a leisurely pace, and it just... That's fine, but if I take the beat, 1, 2, that's kind of slow, but the overall feel of the piece is a little faster because of the triplets. So you have to take the overall feel of it, and that is your speed. Now when you get to page 9, third line, the key change. Meno mosso means less motion, and the cantabile, kind of a singing style, cantabile, just play it, just... But it's a little slower. In my opinion, I mean, you make it yours. You take it at what speed. Just make it a little slower than you were at the beginning is all. How much slower is up to you. You have some retardandos. You can slow down for those. Okay. How much you slow down? Well, again, it's up to you. You feel it. Like at the bottom of page 8 on that. I don't really slow down much to the last 2 beats there. And then off tempo means resume the speed you were going before you changed it, which is whatever. You get the idea, I hope. If I play the right notes, it would help too. I have a note at the bottom of page 9, the DS and what that means, the del signo. I already explained it. Remember, DC means go to the beginning. DS means go to the sign. So you have to find the sign, which, as I told you, is at the top of page 9. So you can do that part again. Now the added pedal, of course, we'd like to have the overtones. But we don't want to be smearing it up too much. We don't want this. If I pedal that, it would smear it up. Yuck. So we don't pedal, but we can pedal this. And I don't like that. I like a cleaner sound. And I want to get softer here. So in my mind, I would change it on the second beat. Actually, I think I'm changing it on every beat because I'm getting softer and I want to keep losing these overtones. So it's here. I'm not pedaling a lot of this at all. I don't like the idea of on the third line down of pedaling that. That just, yuck, that just ruins it for me. So I'm going to, actually what I tend to do is either I don't pedal it, or maybe I'm just pedaling one or two of the eighth notes. I'm kind of doing it by ear. You have to listen. You decide, but on that last measure at the bottom, I'm not pedaling those last two beats at all, and I'm changing pedal like this. I'm not pedaling any of that. And now, page 9 at the key change, third line here. Again, that's too blurry for me. I like a cleaner sound. So I would probably end up changing it on every beat, but I'm going to finger pedal the E flats. Let me explain what's going on now. Changing on every beat is this. That's not hard. But the problem is I lose that E flat is important. It's the root of the chord. I want it throughout. I want to hear it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finger pedal it. That means I'm going to hold it down with the finger to keep it running, sounding out. Because the pedal would let it sound out. But if I'm going to change the pedal, I lose it. So I'm going to hold it down with the finger. So that way when I change the pedal, I still have it. So I'm just holding it down. We do this a lot in piano. As far as the metronome speeds they're giving you, I tend to want to go slower than that. But it's a felt thing. It's not an absolute value. You decide on how fast you want this to go.